You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking the Western Hemisphere is FBA. But now you got to look at the people. You know? The foundation people. The Aboriginal people of the lands. Those are the FBA people. Now when the Europeans started coming over, started mixing, those group of people were birthed the native people of the land. But they're not the Aboriginal people because they're half and half of them mixed in. So now they're natives of the land. Now you see the difference? You know, the Aboriginal people of the Western Hemisphere. You know, people that Columbus buck upon and saw in the islands. You know, and for the little bit of research I did so far, and I'm understanding that those Aboriginal Indians that was founded in Jamaica by those Europeans, those are from the mainland Americas. Those are from descendants of the Taino Indians. That's how long people's been around, generations and generations and thousands of years. What up, everybody? How is all doing? Hope all is well. And if not, hope you get back on track sooner or later. So you can act to your thing. You know what I mean? January Star. I'm just catching the vibe real quick, right? And I'm back on that history talk for a second. You know, they got the FBA, ADOS, you know what I'm saying? American Descendants of Slavery. They got the FBA, Foundation Black Americans. And I was thinking, you know what? You have to stop separating the people and get down to the nitty-gritty and the real history and the truth of the matter. Because if you think about it, yo, the Western Hemisphere is actually the continent of the Americas, yo. Where's Australia? Down below somewhere, right? But if you think about it, the Americas is the big-ass continent. Then in the middle, you have all those islands. And those islands are still a part of the Americas. And then below that is the southern continent. You know what I'm saying? So the whole Western Hemisphere is actually FBA. The Caribbean islands is FBA. You know? And for the little bit of research I did so far, and I'm understanding that those Aboriginal Indians that was founded in Jamaica by those Europeans, those are from the mainland Americas. Those are from descendants of the Taino Indians. That's how long people's been around, generations and generations and thousands of years. I say Indians for your understanding, but they were the original black people of the land. You know, the Aboriginal people of the Western Hemisphere. You know, people that Columbus buck upon and saw in the islands and went back and told all of Europe. And then they came. And then they started mixing up. And then their rulers came and took over and all of that. Broke up the land. Now there's different languages, different Spanish-speaking languages and all these things. Because if you look at the southern continent, we spoke about it before, the southern continent is mostly Spanish-speaking. English-speaking, French-speaking, because of the European nations that came and took over those lands from the people that already existed. Remember, all of Europe, that's all I'm doing, fighting on. African nations, the European nations, even the Asian nations, all of them is fighting, right? So when they found over here and seen that people was over here thriving and doing their thing and they had land, gold, and all of that, they wanted it too. So they came and took over and conquered. And their rules, they brought over Yasser. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking the Western Hemisphere is FBA. But now you got to look at the people. You know? The foundation people. The Aboriginal people of the lands. Those are the FBA people. Now when the Europeans started coming over, started mixing, those group of people were birthed the native people of the land. But they're not the Aboriginal people because they're half and half of them mixed in. So now they're natives of the land. Now you see the difference? Just think about that for a second. And years of intermingling and mixing brought the different sets of people. Remember, the black peoples already have different shades anyway. So the whole Western Hemisphere is FBA. If you really look at it, when you look deep within the history, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know what's crazy? I always thought that AI, some kind of spirit that wants to rule the world, rule the earth, separate the people, nationalities, different things that separates the people, and try to say we're different when we're all the same. Just look at the reality. Look at all the different countries, and each country is a national. They have their own nationalities, even if they're next to each other. You know what I'm saying? But that's the technology, how deep it gets. But I'm just thinking for a second, just holding the vibe, you know, CLP, our whole vibes. But what y'all think out there, y'all? The Western Hemisphere is FBA. And then if you really just look at it, it goes on and goes on, because the ADOS, the American descendants of slavery, are obviously the slaves that came over and having the generations after that here. So history is deep when you really look at it. Take the time to look at it, and with each vibe and vibration that comes up, I'm just gonna, you know, make a video and chop it up, talk about it, and add to the conversation that we've been having, because, you know, we've been kind of opening some doors. If you really look at history and really think about things, you know what I'm saying? Channel Star. I'm CLP, holding the vibe. It's all love, y'all. Catch you on the next vibration.